Ladies and gentlemen, this is Steve with My Audio Stuff, and I thought I'd show you another one of my crown jewels. This is the stereo really that I listen to all the time in my house, and it's basically two components here. On the bottom is the Marantz 1060 integrated amplifier, and I think this thing dates from about 1971, 72, and I think Marantz made these for 4 or 5 years. They sold a ton of them. This is part of their mini component line. If you look at these, they're not really full size when you compare it with a lot of the mainline Marantz preamplifiers or receivers. And some of your grandpa and grandma all-in-one stereo consoles were actually sold with some of these fitted to them, believe it or not, in the 70s. But you could also purchase these as separates. Many people did. And even though they are a little smaller than the regular Marantz systems, the sound quality, the electronics, the design of the circuitry is not compromised in the least. The Marantz 1060 here down on the bottom, it's rated about 35 watts per channel, 35 watts per channel at 20 to 20,000 hertz. It has the same phono section in it, believe it or not, that the Marantz 2245, 2270 had in them. So it's an excellent phono section. It's 20 to 20 plus or minus 1 dB. That is in adhering to the RIAA curve and all of that. Wideband amplifier, no integrated circuits in it. It is completely filled with individual or discrete circuitry in it. It has, loudness contour, and I'm getting in the way of the light here, but phono on it, tape monitor, high and low filters. There's not really much that this doesn't have. You can hook in 2 sets of speakers, and it has the famous Marantz 3-tone control bass, mid-range, treble, and then on the bottom there, balance selector, and then the source selector and volume. An excellent headphone amplifier, believe it or not. Great for listening to high quality records and tapes. And I went ahead and rebuilt this thing, replaced all the capacitors inside of it with Elna Silmic 2s, and did a few little other things to clean the controls and whatnot. Highly refined receiver. The only drawback is that it doesn't have speaker protection, so when you first turn it on, you want to turn the volume down. If not, it'll give you that speaker thump as the amplifier juices up, but that is really nothing. The other part of this is the Marantz Model 105 tuner, and this is another one of their mini size series tuners. And again, you found this in some all-in-one stereo consoles that grandma and grandpa would have. I'm not talking Magnavox and stuff like that, but some of these were actually fitted with Marantz mini components, and this is one of them. This is the 105. It's basically a no-frills tuner, and I'll go ahead and get the this thing down here so that you can see it a little better. But it's AM/FM stereo, and it just has a single tuning meter on it and mute. And of course it has the classic Marantz gyro tuning, which is really a standalone. It is. I love that stuff. That's what first attracted me to Marantz. When I got this one, the tuner, all the lights were burned out on it, and it had no feet. So for about 30 bucks, I got all new lights and new feet for it, and then I did some moderate aligning in the FM front end section of this thing, and it's worked perfectly ever since. From what I can see, these are highly reliable components. They're true high fidelity components, even though they're a little smaller than the usual Marantz gear of the time. On eBay, these aren't so cheap anymore. Maybe 6-7 years ago when I got these, you could get them for maybe 150, 200 bucks. But now most of these refurbished are anywhere from $700 to $1,000. Tuner's not as expensive. But anyway, it's well worth getting them if you have the money to spend. and are willing to do some repairs. These are really excellent, high fidelity components from probably the early to mid 70s. But these will play all your formats, CD, Bluetooth, records, and it'll play them with very decent transit response. These are quick, very full range, full sounding components. So again, I just thought I'd show this to everybody. This is the Marantz 1060 integrated stereo amplifier, and then the Marantz 105. And if you'd like to check out some of my other sites, I have a link to another site that I host here. It's called A Father's Devotions, and it's linked right on to my audio stuff. God bless you all.